They have changed his last ban multiple times. They go back to banning Skarner. We are once again potentially looking at an Olaf first pick for Gilius. He was successful with this earlier. Caitlyn from Splyce would be the normal choice in this one. But I mean, we've seen teams change it up just to change.
Is that really what you want to do in a game 5, though? You know, like, Splyce, they have been on the back foot.
And they definitely do not want to give Minitroupax Caitlyn, but that does mean that the Trundle will come in. Of course, very good matchup into Xerxe in so many ways, as the pillar can disrupt those engages, so will make it a lot more difficult for Xerxe, potentially forcing him onto that Olaf.
And that's kind of the thing for Vitality. They know he's not a great Olaf player, so they keep pushing him in that direction. On the side of Splyce, though, this Sion pick worked okay for Odoamne in the last game, and gonna take that away from Cabochard once again.
I am in agreement, Deficio. Now, if you're Splyce, you could do what you did last game, just go for Xerxe on the next rotation.
You could.
Assume that Vitality is going to go for something like the Taliyah, and then get yourself the Zoe. And I must give a lot of credit to Nisqy. His Zoe has been great. I feel like he's had a great performance so far in this series. Really has stepped up coming into this third decider.
He's looked good in both of his Zoe games, even game 1, where the rest of his team was falling apart. He was the standout performer overall, but AD carry priority is now the name of the game for the Splyce lineup. They liked what their team looked like when Kobbe was carrying. They want to try it again.
Again, it's Splyce from earlier. It's about late game scaling. It's about Kobbe being the big man they rely on. They saw the last game and said, you know what, we don't feel like Vitality can snowball hard enough against us anymore. Can still be a risky call because Taliyah is on the table for Jiizuke. I think if he does not pick it here, Splyce should just ban it. Simply based on the difference we saw between Taliyah from Jiizuke and Vitality and the Azir in the last game. Those walls were used so well to deny entrance to objectives. That actually meant that this potential 50-50 smite never happened.
And now they have to choose. Do they prioritize Jacktroll and his playmaking ability or the comfort pick of Jiizuke? It is going to be Jacktroll. They can take away the Taliyah on the side of Splyce if they want to. What are they going to go for here?
I also want to highlight Cassiopeia is there.
Oh, it is.
Such a big pick from Nisqy beforehand.
The question is, do Splyce just want to get themselves a jungler now? Because if you think about the pool, they could force Splyce into a very awkward situation. You just look at some of the junglers available, Olaf, Xerxe, like Sejuani, Kha'Zix.
Braum jungle.
I guess because it's a Trundle, we could potentially see the Nidalee come out. You did talk about it earlier in the day.
Now still, I would love to see Taliyah being banned away, but they might just go for double AD carry ban again, because they've already picked Tristana for themselves. Sivir was one of the picks that Minitroupax found success on earlier. Ezreal, of course, in the last one. This Varus keeps getting banned in the second phase, despite Minitroupax not really showing it to us just yet. But it looks like Splyce are okay leaving Taliyah open. And if the Cassiopeia is there, that's probably going to be the answer.
Xerxe actually taken off the board despite any kind of positive matchup the Trundle might have. What else are they going to take away? What else can they try to deny from Xerxe? Does the Olaf make the cut list too?
You know, I'm feeling the Nidalee. I feel like that you could do a Zoe Nidalee, you'd have a really good poke siege comp, and then you'd be buffing up the Tristana as well.
And look, Zoe Nidalee was so good against Vitality when Fnatic played it in game 1 of the semifinal series. It absolutely tore their team apart, all those pick options.
If they ban Olaf, it might be to push him on Sejuani, which again, Trundle would love that.
I think the
Also
more
true.
likely tank pick.
On the side of Vitality, but Xerxe is the kind of guy who has pocket picks. And we don't know what he's been using in scrims. Maybe he's found success on the Nidalee or the Kayn, just to bring that up, because we did joke about it just before here. Olaf is still left open. Splyce can take it, despite it not being the greatest pick for Xerxe. It's Ivern, that's a pocket pick.
Look, you're the one who brought it up, Deficio. Scaling, playing around Kobbe.
Kobbe.
The ultimate scaling jungler pick. Protects your AD carry.
And they seem to be okay giving Taliyah so they can pick Cassiopeia on the side of Nisqy. The option is there for them.
Now, we might not see that mid lane gank, but it very much depends on what Team Vitality choose to do. We're going back to the Jinx. So, strong 2 versus 2 in favor of Vitality in the bottom lane. Will we see the Taliyah again? Expectations would be yes. Maybe we see something straight out of left field and they lock the Cassiopeia in themselves.
Have to find out what exactly the option is going to be. 10 seconds left. Vitality really taking their time here and debating.
There it is again.
Comfort pick coming in for Jiizuke. Thought maybe they take away the Cassio here, but not looking to blind pick it.
But if we get the Cassio for Nisqy, that late game is absolutely insane from Splyce's side. 2 great hyper carries, Ivern, Braum, Sion to protect them as well, but they might be afraid that they need something to match a little bit more early on. I still think the Cassiopeia, based on how Nisqy played it earlier, makes the most sense. And he's back on it. This was the champion, where he went 1 versus 5 and got 2 kills.
Listen to the crowd erupt when it gets locked in. Look back at the plays that Nisqy made. This man was truly a monster as he dismantled Jiizuke, tore apart Vitality, and got that fantastic comeback win.
And that was one of the games where it was hard for Jiizuke to pick a lane to gank. Now with Jinx and Thresh. We talked about this lane a little bit earlier in the pick and ban phase, how the hook into traps is a great setup for something like a Taliyah to jump down. There is a lot of CC to play around on the bottom side, and we know this Tristana is not going to do that much in the early lane. We can definitely see Vitality try and go back to snowballing bot lane with some Taliyah ganks.
You know, and I must admit that while there is great scaling on the side of Splyce, it is not weak for Vitality either. Jinx is a great late game hyper carry. Taliyah, her damage and her kite ability is also potent. And when you have the Ornn engages on top of that, we could see some very explosive mid to late game fights.
Honestly, whatever one of these AD carries gets the reset, Jinx with the extra attack speed, Tristana with the mobility, we may just see clean up an entire fight. A lot of game to come before that as we build up. Game 5, folks. Vitality versus Splyce. One final game to decide it all. All efforts before this irrelevant. One last shot to bring it home.
Denmark sending their energy to the 2 teams competing on stage. Definitely been a lot of support for Kobbe throughout this series.
I wonder why. Maybe it's the flag on his chair.
I think it's because of his great hairstyle.
Have to find out. Kobbe goes into game. Hey, you want to give Danish fans a show, put him on a hyper carry, put him on that Tristana, give him an Ivern to buff him up and let him go wild. And there it is.
Denmark now owns the moon, ladies and gentlemen. They're bringing it to the Summoner's Rift. Vitality versus Splyce. We're going into game 5. Now, the thing we got to remember is that Tristana game 1 from Kobbe, they went pretty aggro very early on into the game.
They did.
And it looked cool, but it didn't exactly develop into a lot.
Now tell me, Vedius, what is the value of it looking cool?
I mean, well, on stage for Kobbe, he was like, yeah, look at me, I'm doing some cool stuff. But then he ended up being 0-2 in lane.
I see.
He ended up falling really far behind. He was like, he didn't even complete a full item when Minitroupax had an Infinity Edge.
Difficult road for sure, and you definitely cannot give up a single inch against either of these AD carries if they get ahead. Is a similar story for Nisqy in the mid lane. High stakes here in the early game. Neither team wants to fall behind whatsoever.
And especially with Nisqy getting Cassiopeia again. The champion he carried so hard on in game 2 against Jiizuke, who's not had the cleanest series. Vedi, you talked a lot about this in the last game, how there's great plays and really bad plays from him. The Taliyah, Vitality themselves apparently considered it a problem, which is why they picked Azir last game. And Yamada Cannon in the coach interview right after the pick and ban phase said, yeah, we need to fix our problem in the mid lane. Jiizuke is back on Taliyah now. There is no room for mistakes. He needs to be able to do well this game.
Has to be very careful too, doing what he can to get the push pressure, but level 2 comes in for Nisqy. He is willing to burn that entire mana pool to shut him down.
Now, one of the big issues for Ivern is that he also gets very low in the jungle. You have to wait for your passive to kind of channel up, and it's a great opportunity to just invade him, because you know that he will be these low levels until he can pick up those camps that he's prepped earlier on. Gilius, trying to take advantage of this, has already moved in, and because he has push in mid and in top, he has the support from his team as Odo now could be collapsed
here. Has to flash out to safety, no flash burn in return, but a potential point of vulnerability now on the side of Splyce. Maybe they look to play around top side.
Yeah, Xerxe called for his team to try and help him. Sadly for his team, them actually walking in to try and help an Ivern meant that there was a flash blown by Odoamne on top side. He's already getting pushed in under the turret. Gilius could start with the Trundle stealing away a buff, and Xerxe is back to farming, just like we saw last game.
You can see him staying on that worked ground, wanting the extra movement speed so he can just get away from Nisqy in a hurry if he has to.
Rough trade in the middle lane there for Jiizuke, already being brought down to about 40% of his HP. Already ran out of health pots in the middle lane too. Nisqy, once again, showing his confidence on the champion. Now, Kasing looking for a gank and bot.
Bit of bot lane aggression, 2 stacks, looking for the third, maybe a fourth. The hook not going to go anywhere where he needed it to. That may just be first blood. Jacktroll in trouble. Heal comes out, getting burnt down, and first blood for Kobbe.
And a big change here from game 1. Game 1, it was Kobbe jumping in first. Kasing had to follow, and it was hard for him to lock down the target. This was Kasing jumping to a minion, connects in, and he managed to get some CC onto the enemy support. And Jacktroll was hoping Ivern was a little bit further forward. He could land a hook onto him and fly to safety, but Xerxe was not there. And then it's first blood for Splyce. Bot lane ends for Kobbe. The man they're going to buff up this entire game.
Exactly that. In front of his home crowd, Kobbe is going to be the man to carry Splyce if they're going to find this 5th game win. Note here, you talked about it, Deficio. Kasing leads the charge with Xerxe coming in from the side. Jacktroll tries to use his hook as to land it onto Xerxe to then get out. Unfortunately, he isn't able to hit it, and they find that early kill, relieves some of the pressure. Now Kobbe feeling very happy.
Xerxe now looking for the setup. Rukaller goes out, flash immediately from Jiizuke. Could not let that one connect. And we're already seeing 2 things for Splyce, the exact things we talked about wanting to see. Proactivity from Xerxe in the early game and snowballing onto their carry.
And who'd have thought that of all the champions that Xerxe would be the most active on in this series, it would be Ivern. Level 3 gank bot, straight into gank mid. He is being active in this early game.
Well, Gilius took away his camps, and Xerxe is just taking away his support and his enemy's flash here in this game. So Jacktroll no flash, Jiizuke no flash. Jacktroll will interrupt a recall, just to be a bit annoying here. But it's an interesting combo, the one we just saw about to be set up. If you connect the snare from Xerxe into, again, the W from a Cassiopeia, you're not flashing out of that one.
That's very true.
And you're probably dying.
And things are looking a little bit tough in the mid lane. You can see 29 to 40. Some of that CS will be recouped. But now Gilius going in on the top side, wants to get a bit of damage down, is tanking the tower, needs to flash out. One more shot! The trade, the 1-for-1. Zombie Odo even gets the farm, not what Vitality wanted.
Really good play there from Odo. The fact that he's able to find at least a 1-for-1 is the best case scenario for him. Remember, he lost his flash trying to help Xerxe in the jungle secure his red buff. This was an easy opportunity for Vitality, but Odo with the good outplay, trying to dive a Sion, there's always that risk.
And just honestly a little bit of a misplay too, it feels like on the side of Gilius, just needed to flash out a quarter of a second sooner to survive, to swap aggro on the tower. Little mistakes like that, or little outplays in the case of Odo, they cannot afford to keep making these missteps.
Now Gilius is missing his flash, which could be key for a follow-up gank if he wants to go for something more, but this is already kind of a very aggressive play to try and 2v1 tower dive without getting ultis available on either Ornn or the Trundle. Do get a lot of damage, but I think Gilius, at this point, he's too far down. He's way too low.
And you have to remember the pressure on all the players playing here. 3rd place on the line, championship points, their road to Worlds starts today. Starts with a win. You're hoping for either of these sides, and as well that spot at Rift Rivals. We heard from Yamato about how important it is to his boys. They need to find a win here. A lot of pressure to play under.
And you think about the organizations as well. Vitality, the last time they were even in playoffs was back in 2016. They picked up a lot of rookies. And for the first split of 2018, they came in by storm. And for Splyce, a lot more veterans. They lost the full Danish lineup. Kobbe, the only remaining member. And they brought in some new faces and some old ones. And at the start, things were rough, but now they've developed as a team to reach this point, and they love to end their season as a top 3 team in Europe.
It was generally just a very big off-season for both orgs when you have to pick up this many new players, and especially Splyce, they went all in. Because it's not just the 5 guys on stage, it's also 5 guys sitting backstage from them. There's 3 coaches, there's 2 managers taking care of the players. So there's a lot being invested from the Splyce organization. Getting a 3rd place in your first split would therefore be fantastic for them and set them up very well to get more towards, you know, Worlds and the championship points. But I think Vitality, it's exactly the same deal. And now we get all in bot.
Kobbe wants to keep it going. Unbreakable there to stop any fire back. Lantern is there, but Minitroupax can't click it quite yet. Needs to step forward, wants to grab it. Sion coming down. Can't play him out of that, but the flash out to safety. Jacktroll gonna get sacrificed. Splyce making a play.
Poor Jacktroll wanted to be a hero here and save his AD carry, so he stood in front of the Sion ulti, but I'm not even sure Minitroupax needed that. Instead, it's just Jacktroll going down for a 2nd time. Bot lane turret taking damage, mid lane.
Jiizuke potentially in trouble. Not going to find the fall. We got to shift our attention to the bottom side. Gilius doing what he can to disengage. Decimating Smash is going to connect home, and Kobbe getting down some chip damage on the tower.
And this is the first time this series we've actively seen Splyce really try to play through their bottom lane. Now, Cabo, he's looking for a play in mid.
Tries to find the knockup. Isn't quite going to connect onto Nisqy.
Yeah, I think Nisqy was his goal there. I was looking like, ooh, a little wide there from Xerxe, but the mid laner was his target. No immediate follow-up as you identified Drakos, and now we see a flank coming in from Gilius.
Off to the side. Sing wants to make his way out. The pillar, the flash out, trying to make it to safety. We'll get at least 1 summoner spell. Heal as well, the follow-up. But just small edge to Vitality. Splyce still very much in the lead.
But I like that Gilius is trying to get something back. This is what we often see if Vitality do not get ahead naturally in the lanes. They rely on Gilius to show up and be very proactive in his ganks. And sometimes a little bit too over-aggressive, like the top lane dive. He went all in for that one, but here he gets at least a summoner from the enemy support. And now he's going towards top side once again. Xerxe is behind enemy lines.
I don't know how he gets out of this situation.
Tries to
He
die
can jump
at the
to
turret.
the camp, or he can die to tower, but that's a wall. Yeah.
Oh, that's another
that
tear.
hit landed. All right, Xerxe, can you make the great escape?
Right now, his mid laner is farming,
Oh,
and
hide the
Jiizuke
bush.
just wants to
Respect.
kill.
He's gonna try to back. Nope, he's gonna die. Hey. Whoa. Says, I'm not giving it to you, Minitroupax. You didn't earn it. Gives it to Jiizuke instead. So, questionable?
I mean, the problem is he got spotted out on a ward in the river. Vitality was successfully able to get the punish. Xerxe realized he was in a bit of a sticky situation, and he thought, hey, if I can just get into darkness, maybe I can back out. Unfortunately, he was not able to do so, and Vitality successfully shut him down.
And while it's not ideal, it did take a lot of time coming in from the mid lane. Jiizuke, you can see getting further and further behind in CS. Not the ideal situation whatsoever for Vitality. And we'll take one more look at the bottom side play.
So they're going here for Minitroupax. Jacktroll is doing his job here, putting down the lantern. He can actually use it to get out. And then Odo shows up, and Jacktroll jumping in front for his AD carry. But his AD carry was already planning on flashing away. So he actually just ended up going in for nothing.
I didn't even
Poor
notice
guy.
the flash.
Poor guy, man. He's
Jacktroll's like, wait, you had flash?
So they got the kill plus actually summoners from Minitroupax.
Sometimes you got to respect that the man is willing to get shoulder checked by a giant zombie to keep his AD carry alive. Turns out to be unnecessary, but still got to respect it. Of course, one of the unsung kind of strengths of Ivern is the ability to give 2 buffs. That is going to make Kobbe's life a lot more difficult on the top side. The health regen especially important.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to just tag on to that because you hear so often from from many top lanes like, oh, when they get an enemy Ocean Drake, top lane becomes so difficult. Well, now he gets his own health part available to him at all times. So he's going to be pretty happy with that.
And we can see Xerxe really wants to go bot lane because this turret is very low. If he just goes in there, shields Kobbe, well, bam, that's a turret going down. Splyce gets a ton of gold for themselves, but Gilius is trying to match it. He's down here. I also see Jiizuke moving. No ulti on the Taliyah. Was used before when he killed Xerxe in his own base. But they're trying to protect this bot lane for as long as possible, but the turret is so low. Kobbe needs like 3 seconds on it, and it's down.
You can see he's quite comfortable in this laning phase, has the extra attack speed to keep the push pressure up, a little more AD on the side of Minitroupax. Of course, the built-in attack speed steroid makes it a little bit easier. But it's rare that we've seen Vitality actually lose out on the bottom side. One of their biggest strengths across this series was that they always had the pushing bot lane. But with Splyce's success in this game, it's a little bit of a different story.
Also with Odoamne just going bot lane from lane, ulting in towards him. We haven't seen that a lot from Splyce, but they're trying so hard to make sure that the AD carry is getting ahead, and it's been successful for them. Meanwhile, around mid lane, Gilius once more.
Flash, the pillar. Nisqy potentially in trouble. Out comes the call of the Forge God, but just a flash back from Nisqy. Body blocked. Very aggressive, but just a trade of summoners.
I mean, a lot was burned there. Flash for flash in the middle lane. Ulti used from Cabo as well. But he's doing what Cabo often does. Roams down from the top side when he has the push to try and set up a play in mid. Jiizuke continuing to fall behind though, even with this extra jungle pressure.
Bot lane as well, Minitroupax finally getting to the turret. Kobbe is on his way here to try and defend it. There's a ward behind Splyce that Odoamne can use to TP on.
But they're pinging it. Vitality recognize that this is there, and you can see that Jacktroll is positioning just slightly up towards the river, so he has the lantern to take his AD to safety.
Xerxe is now down here, buffing him up. Now, going back to that mid lane play, I want to see Vitality gank that lane again. Like, if you're investing a flash Trundle pillar to try and get a flash from Nisqy, you have to return gank that lane. You have to kill Nisqy, take the mid lane turret, and use that to gain you a big advantage if you're Vitality. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense that you're flashing forward there as a jungler.
You also shut down what was the big carry in game 2 from Splyce. Don't allow him to scale up and get to a point where he can do the same thing that he did before. Now, Jiizuke, he is moving up with Gilius. He will be spotted, and Splyce successfully slow the game down.
Not managing to time the roam here with the wave actually hitting the turret. Was about to be set up. Meanwhile, the rest of Vitality will then back away from the bottom side. Blue buff to Nisqy. No one invading Xerxe this time around, and a bit of damage in the mid lane from Jiizuke, who's trying to get control after he's been down in CS all game long.
Not struggling as much as he was earlier on, but still very behind in CS. A lot of that due to Nisqy's free ability to just go in and take jungle camps whenever possible. For now, game is a little bit slower, but Splyce clearly in control of the cadence thus far.
Kobbe's alone here. He wants it badly. Too badly.
He's just going to rocket jump out to safety, not even going to give them a chance. Good play by Kobbe.
Don't know if he has enough gold yet to buy himself the Infinity Edge, so he probably wants to stay in lane a little bit longer. But something that Deficio and we were discussing, like the play style of Splyce and their tendencies, and something we'll often see is Kasing will group up with this jungler to try and set up vision around the map, and they'll leave Kobbe off in a side lane to just catch farm. And on Tristana, that's the perfect champion to enable him to do that, and that then allows Splyce to be able to challenge things like the Drake.
Well, we should have seen an ult there from Kasing. Jiizuke was tanking the Drake, and he had multiple members on his way. He could at least force the flash, but he didn't go for it. He saved it for potential play in the bottom lane, and Splyce trying to regain control on the bottom side, while Minitroupax is trying his best here. 140 CS, he's been the best performing player on Vitality in this series, and they put him on this Jinx. They're saying, we know your late game is going to be amazing, we think you can carry us, but also get some kills early against Kobbe here and Kasing. But it's now Drake being started by just Nisqy. Xerxe is joining him.
Gilius is on the bottom side, could potentially look to contest. Hook does go wide, tries to get the predict, isn't going to find it. Dragon now set to fall. Xerxe going to be there to smite that one out. So advantage over the side of Splyce as they secure that one. Gilius though still pushing forward. Jacktroll on the front line with the CC. They do dodge out the ultimate, but it's TP for TP traded now. Looks like both are going to be canceled as Kobbe and Odo continue their battle on the top side.
Both teams are ready for a fight there. Only teleports were used off the back end, but Vitality recognizing, oh, we need to disengage from this because that TP from behind us could be huge. Now they are in a position to set up a siege on this bot tier 1. Xerxe though, once again, doing what he's done so much this series, just matching Gilius, making sure that the numbers are always even.
I would love to see Cabochard roam from mid, or roam from top to mid. Use your ulti against the no-flash Cassiopeia, see if you can get that kill. I still think it's okay they're also playing on bottom side because they have the Jinx to kill the turret. That's where Xerxe is trying to defend. Xerxe is top side now though. There's a chance for Vitality if they go back to bot lane.
It kind of feels like though the Vitality don't have a clear idea of what they want to do. They have a lot of options available and they're just constantly swapping between all these different things, you know, because their bottom lane falls behind at first. So then they try to make a play up top. Oh no, Gilius ends up dying 1v1 to Odoamne. Then they try and force a play mid and now they're not going back. And it feels like Vitality make these plays, but then they aren't following up on the things that they initially set up.
Oh, Hook does connect. Aren't going to find the follow-up on the bottom side. You can see the bottom lane a lot closer. They had originally been indicated.
Who's going up bot lane again? It's the same play we saw earlier. Now let's see if Xerxe is actually on the wrong side of the map to fully commit to a 5-man play bot side. He's currently killing his red buff.
Good ward though comes in from the side of Vitality. They see Sion getting the brush. They know that they just have to back off and play safe. Ivern now moving down. It's a similar story. Kobbe was on the way. Maybe Vitality looked for the full-on 5v5. They know what is coming. They've now seen Odoamne. Tower potentially in trouble. Gilius is going to throw down the pillar, can't steal away the tanky stats. In comes the Taliyah on the backside. Jiizuke, though, doesn't quite make it into the middle of the team. Jacktroll flays back. That's the follow-up immediately. Kobbe is there for the follow-up. Odoamne, the member, in trouble, but neither side getting anything.
Jiizuke utilizing his ultimate to get to bot lane first. Nisqy and Xerxe can't really contribute, so it is Odoamne and Kasing that are forced to flash out of that situation. Love the response there from Vitality, responding and reacting to what Splyce tried to do.
But still, Splyce a little bit weird there to see the move to bot lane when Xerxe was actually top side. They're trying to defend his turret here. Vitality trying to push it in. Jiizuke is still coming.
Get a bit lower. Ulti comes out from the Kasing. The immediate follow-up, but not going to connect. Lantern brings it home to safety. Kobbe going to now make it out. Odoamne, the member, in trouble. Is just going to get deleted immediately by the ulti from Jinx, but no follow-up on the side of Splyce. Nisqy, though, on the way, ready to look for a fight. Has to be careful. Can't walk into a hook.
Vitality playing this part here much better than Splyce. Good ward to spot Odoamne, knowing they have plenty of time to react. Force the flash first from Sion, and then on the return play here, at the moment Odoamne goes forward, nice lantern from Jacktroll, and then they can actually kill the Sion. So Vitality managed to at least defend for a bit, but this turret is still so low, and it will eventually just die.
Have to be willing to give that one up. You can see this will give Splyce a slight gold advantage. First tower, first blood, actually. Going to go in their favor. Good thing to have in this game thus far, but actually 3-3 in the kill score, and this is a pretty good play coming in from Vitality.
But here Jiizuke should just stay with his team if they're actually going for the turret. He's coming now to join a potential fight, and this is one of the reasons Splyce could actually engage, kill the minion wave, and despite it being Odoamne dying, it's Splyce remaining in the lane to kill the turret here. A little bit of a mixed call from Vitality's side as well with Jiizuke and where he was supposed to go.
So now the gold lead ever so slightly in the favor of Splyce. They'll likely equalize that as Vitality look to trade towers unless Kasing here can interrupt. But given how low the tower is, I feel like that it is simply a matter of time before Vitality secure it for themselves.
And despite everything else, actually a slight gold advantage coming in to Kobbe on the bottom side. You can see the difference there, the Xerxe shard. Just a 500 gold in his favor, courtesy of that extra assist and the early tower. So we'll let him get just a little bit faster those key item spikes. Xerxe completed for both mid laners. Look across the board, and of course Ivern with the standard support itemization coming through. Jiizuke has to be careful though. Nisqy's still very strong at this point in the game. You can see not too deterred by Gilius.
All the CC missing right there. Everyone else are walking away, but it feels like a game with both AD carries trying the hardest to get as farmed as possible, and both teams are trying to make sure the AD carry doesn't fall behind. Everyone is around bottom side.
These team fights are going to be pretty exciting. Guys, I'm looking at the scaling on both sides. We're pretty hyped about how the team fights will be played off, and I feel like execution's going to be a big thing. Oh, Jiizuke!
Jiizuke trying to make a play for the team, but he's in the middle of no man's land. That is not at all what he needs. The flash out, still going to get knocked down.
Jiizuke, the wild card of this series.
But why?
I don't know, Deficio!
That's a Braum right there. He jumps right into him. Also getting surprised that Xerxe is bot lane. Especially been sitting bot lane all game long, and Jiizuke jumps headfirst into Splyce, hoping he can make a big play, but no one could really help him.
When we see the replay, we can see what the thought process there was for him. There must have been a reason for why he thinks that play is safe, and maybe it was just a lack of information, not recognizing there were 3 members of Splyce there ready to punish him. But let's have a look at how the minimap is. So he should be aware, but I mean, yeah, the minion wave is nowhere near the tower yet. He just goes way too early on it.
And that's the thing, even if it's a 1v2, nice one at the end, getting the kill, but even if it's 1v2 and Ivern is not there, there's still no minion wave. There's no one helping him.
Yeah.
At first, yeah, he might be able to walk out with the lantern then, but then he's spent his ulti on jumping in, getting chunked to then walk out. So that play from Jiizuke, it feels like he really wants to force something. Him and Gilius have been trying to flash forward aggressive ultis, and Splyce has been able to kind of respond every single time.
And in game 1, it was Splyce who were over-eager to force, and Vitality were the team that were there to punish. That's what led to their such a confident snowball win. And now in this game, Vitality, the ones overplaying their hand, going for some of these greedier options, and Splyce just happy to pick up the extra gold.
Looking at some of the items that have been completed now. 2 item spikes hit for both Kobbe and Minitroupax. It's going to be a big deal. Same look at the mid laners. Nisqy finished the Seraphs along with Jiizuke, and that Leandries is coming in relatively soon.
And it's very big for Vitality that Minitroupax has been able to do well once again, getting a ton of farm, matching what's happening on the other side for Kobbe, because we're looking at him. It's not going to be Jiizuke solo carrying this game whatsoever. It's going to be on that AD carry. Gilius, Cabochard, and Jacktroll there to try and set it up for Minitroupax. They just need him in a good position where he can deal enough damage to win you the team fight.
Going to be difficult though. There's so many tools on the side of Splyce to mitigate what he can do. The Daisy to disrupt him in team fights, the Unbreakable from the Braum to stop that damage from hitting home onto Kobbe or the other backline members.
Now we're 21 minutes into the game. Game 5. We've had the Silver Scrapes, guys. We're in the 3rd place decider. Both these teams have shown so much good stuff throughout the series, and it's always come down to this single moment, one fight, one decision that has resulted in the huge swing in either side. And given how even it is between these 2 teams right now, we are simply waiting for that play. Who will make the overextension? Who will go for the outplay?
Have to wonder, where's the edge going to come from? Ivern getting closer to building more support itemization to make sure that Kobbe is unkillable in the fights to come. Is it Vitality who have to just keep trying to make these plays?
We know the fights are going to be who can kill the tanks first.
Oh, for sure.
Because obviously on the side of Splyce, there's not a lot of members who can actually dive onto Minitroupax and just kill him. And that's why Trundle can also be huge. Because if you Trundle onto Odoamne and you hook him in with Jacktroll, you box him, you buy so much time for Minitroupax to hit this tank with reduced armor and MR. That might be enough for him to actually kill the front line of Splyce, and then it's Vitality with the advantage. This Ornn ulti can also be so big at interrupting, especially things like Cassiopeia, that's standing still and dealing damage. So while Vitality, with their, especially their Taliyah pick in the mid lane, were looking to make more plays early, they have tools to kill the enemy frontline in late game fights.
Look at the mini-map. Nisqy is top lane, Odoamne is bot. They're both running up through the river. Kasing going for the engage.
Oh, wanted to knock him out of the lantern, but isn't going to find the path. Jacktroll could just be the sacrificial lamb here as Splyce find the engagement they're looking for. Minitroupax so far untouched, is hitting home onto Kobbe. May just be able to get the reset. Oh, the shutdown! Jinx now looking for the pop-off. Getting excited. Nisqy, can he turn it back? It doesn't look like it.
Oh,
Yes! He gets the shutdown. Kobbe does not have the tools necessary to kill. It is all on Jiizuke to try to bring this one home. Kasing wants to keep the fight going. It is a brutal back and forth for both sides. Who is going to die next? Nisqy is so low, but the shields are there from Xerxe if they can just find it.
Oh,
Not
the
quite
Raptors!
enough. Raptors aggroed. Kasing gonna make it out to safety. Nisqy healing up and the fight will stop.
What an epic team fight. We knew they were going to be exciting, and it delivers. 3 for 2 in favor of Splyce. So close. A single decision could have swung that fight either way.
This replay is going to be insane. Like, great start from Splyce. Kasing tried to make the big play with the engage. Probably trying to catch Minitroupax in the lantern as well when he was flying back to his team. And it looked like Splyce had it. But as we highlighted, they can't get to the enemy AD carry.
Yep.
And Minitroupax, he just sat back there. We can see it once we get the fight, how he can destroy Splyce Line-up.
And that Ornn ulti in the fight too was just so monumental. It's set up so perfectly for Minitroupax to get the double kill, start swinging the fight in their favor, and then somehow Nisqy, he's the guy that makes the play. He's the one that gives that slight edge over to Splyce. The gold is still so even, gents. This game could still go either way.
And we see Nisqy and Kobbe, no sums left. Same story for Minitroupax. Jiizuke still has the flash. Maybe this is an edge, but we can look back one more time at exactly how this went down.
So he wants to flash in and see if he can land the ulti also onto Minitroupax. And now it's a great start. They kill Gilius instantly. They take that Jacktroll, but look at Minitroupax on the Jinx at the bottom. He's untouched, deals so much extra damage. Great ulti from him. He kills Kobbe, who ended up in the front line. Now it looks like he's gonna carry. But when it turns around, Nisqy's damage.
Oh my words. The side steps from Nisqy, dodging everything, and even being able to get the kill.
He saw the pentakill.
He saw it in his eyes. My
Let
word.
it go right through his fingers. Nisqy firing back, not letting his team out of the game yet. But you want to know who the carry was of Vitality? We've said Jinx a lot of times. Now let the numbers tell you.
But isn't this so... I don't know the word is. It's just, it's so great to watch when
Fascinating.
Troupax has been such a big carry for Vitality this series, the best performing player so far. And Nisqy is the guy that's been stepping up for Splyce, a dude that had so much criticism during the regular season. Coming into this third place decider, he has been having a fantastic game. He has been the most reliable carry so far for the Splyce team, and it is all about which one of those two players can carry harder for their organizations.
And honestly, these small gold advantages not meaningful. Ultimately, it's the fights. Which AD carry is allowed to auto-attack untouched. And for Vitality, you have to be concerned because it's not just Nisqy, or not just Kobbe you have to be afraid of. It's Nisqy as well.
Of course, and I think Kobbe in the last one here made a mistake, ended up in the front line, so he could actually die. But he will learn for the next one.
We hope.
Who knows? Otherwise, Minitroupax will kill him.
Yeah.
Have to respect the Ornn ulti. Can't afford to get caught out as a Tristana. You're the one with the safety tools.
All right, lads, Baron is up and available. Thinking of Baron taking speed, you kind of have to give the slight edge to Splyce, given that it is Cassio. Oh, Gilius, he's out of position.
You're looking for it. Now throwing the pillar up, has used the ulti, will keep him alive for a little bit longer, but he goes right into the Baron pit.
He can't get it because of the miasma.
The lantern is there! Will managed to make it out. Gilius still going down. Kobbe now looking for the turn. Can they get the follow up on this fight? Looks like they just have to back off.
Oh, we've seen this a few times from Gilius, when he just wants to kill that ward. He goes forward, he wants to clear the vision, and then Splyce uses it to force a fight.
The ultimate trap card against Gilius. Every time he goes in, Splyce is there to punish. Now there is no jungle life. Hook lands.
Does land, so does the Root Caller. They're starting to fire back. Minitroupax remains untouched. Daisy will get taken out. Redemption used as well. Low health bar for Jacktroll. He's not going to be able to heal up too much. Splyce now looking to set this up.
Look at how quickly this Baron goes down.
Knockup is going to be there. They're now looking to turn the fight in their favor. Minitroupax is off to the side. He's not with the rest of the team. This is not the fight that Vitality wanted. Splyce now cutting through individual members. They're set up to take the Baron, but the health bars are a little bit too low. They don't want to risk it.
Splyce can keep stopping you from clicking that lantern, and that's another kill then for them. Jacktroll's trying his best to save whoever's face checking. But Splyce gets another one. Once again, started with Gilius in that Baron pit, and then a follow-up kill onto Cabochard.
Ooh, this is a great game. We're only 28 minutes into the game. There's still so much more fighting left to be had. The gold is still
or
incredibly
not, right?
even.
One
or
single
not.
5-man ace, you get Baron, and this game gets pretty easy to end.
but I feel like Troupax is doing such a great job for Vitality, and this is where we see Gilius
The wards, the
out of
bait.
position. He thinks that he's safe. I don't even know why he thinks he's safe. But here, look at the power of the miasma. He's still just stuck in it. He can't click the lantern. Oh, the root caller as well from Xerxe to just make things even worse.
But it's this problem where the mid lane is not being pushed by Vitality, and then Gilius is walking in anyway behind the enemy lines to try and kill a ward. This is just a follow-up. Miasma is down. He can't get out. They get another kill, and it's all actually set up by the jungler of Vitality himself. So Gilius Flash will now be ready for the next one. They need a fight where they can just protect Minitroupax. He's the carry. He needs to win the entire thing for Vitality, but they're behind. And Splyce traditionally are the better late game team.
It's going to be difficult. You can see 3 items completed on both AD carries, 3.5 for Minitroupax. If you count the Molten Edge, 3.5 if you count the QSS for Kobbe.
All right, boys, we're going NA. Forget side lanes, all in the mid. 5v5 right now. Both top laners have TP, but Odo's looking for a flank in the bottom brush.
He's going to get a Kobbe. Can he find a good engage? A lot of members clumped up right now.
He's got his eyes on Troupax.
Oh, what a
Odo
catch him.
is the one's going to get caught out.
Oh, no!
The fight's going. He is unstoppable. They cut through the tank immediately. Minitroupax gets the pick. Is that going to be enough to give them any greater advantage?
It is so big, though, they can go towards the Baron. They still have Ornn ulti if they want to force a fight there. There's no tank from the enemy team. Let's go.
Jacktroll comes up so big, landing that hook onto Odo. The tank is gone. TP is up, though.
But you cannot make that mistake in Game 5 and flash into the wall. Maybe the Trundle puller knocked him a little bit further away, but that was a big one from Odoamne. 25 seconds on him. TP is ready, but Vitality, they can stop this Baron and turn with Ornn ulti.
But do they want to run the risk? You know, there's always
the
that
wall.
potential. There's the wall. As you mentioned, Drakos, let's go.
You talk about risks. Vitality potentially taking the risk of a 50-50 here. Kobbe going in. Xerxe looking for it. Can they find the engage? Who are they going to catch out? Braum gets the body block. Is the damage there for the rest of the team? Minitroupax is backing off. Splyce are splitting it up. The Baron attempt has gone south for Vitality. They're not going to get this.
Splyce are just stalling. If they can just poke Vitality down, they still have TP on Odoamne, ready to rejoin the fight.
We've seen this a few times from Vitality where it's a split call at Baron. Do they want to finish it? Then you use Taliyah wall to block them from getting in. Or do you want to fight? Then don't use the Taliyah wall. Let them walk towards you and instantly engage with Ornn ulti. But they ended up trying to do both things at once and got nothing out of it except for losing multiple towers in the mid lane. They look towards the Baron again though. They're pinging. Look at Splyce. They're going to the bottom lane. Vitality, they might be able to rush it down if they started.
Just about a 4K deficit standing against Vitality if they want to get this. They have control over the pit, as you mentioned, and it looks like they are going to start it up. It's now or never. Seemingly appropriate that this entire series could come down to a 50-50 smite. Gilius' chance for redemption. Odoamne's in the bottom side of the map. Xerxe ready to go over the wall and into that pit if he needs to.
Oh, this is so tense right now. Hook lands!
Second to follow. Nisqy now immediately flashing out to safety. They want to turn this back. Minitroupax is alive and well. The Zeke's Harbinger up and ticking, but he gets zoned out of the fight by Odoamne. Now they're on the retreat. The leap forward for Kobbe. He wants the reset, but he can't quite get another auto attack. Troupax still on the backside and backing off. Splyce in control of the pit. They could look to start the Baron.
But look at how low Jiizuke is. One of the main damage dealers on Vitality is not primed and ready for fight. Splyce, they have the numbers advantage. They're the ones who control.
There's still 10 seconds on that ulti from Jiizuke. He can't just rush back towards the Baron. Minitroupax full HP, staying around. Splyce did not start the Baron yet. Now they're starting it, poking it down. Let's see what happens here. Ornn ulti is ready. It's going to be huge.
Minitroupax catch them in the pinch.
Oh, Gilius!
And they get Gilius is going to get cut down. The ulti comes out. Good Ornn ulti on the backside, though, but there's no follow-up. Minitroupax has to be careful. Cannot step too far forward. It will stop the Baron, though.
Oh, my word. Neither team wants to overcommit. Splyce, though, still feel confident. They're moving back. They have Odo to tank up the Baron. 4 members of Vitality still alive, not in a position to contest right now.
But this AD carry on the side of Vitality still being alive, still poking with the long-range rockets. That is tough for Splyce to deal with. They have to be
Weaver's
careful.
wall available. They could look to split up the team here.
Oof, so tense. Neither team wants to take the risk. Everyone disengages. Everyone take a sigh of relief. Splyce, they still hold the gold lead, but Baron goes to no one.
And we talked about these games coming down to a single play. Neither team willing to be the one that gives up that single play that throws a game 5 away. Everything's so close. Individual picks going in the favor of Splyce repeatedly, but never enough for them to get a greater lead.
This is after the initial fight. Gilius tries to face check with his team. Easy for Splyce to kill him. And now rest of Vitality forced them out, but we need to go straight back to live because there's more stuff happening around the Baron. It's Splyce moving in first.
Oh, Troupax just went back to base.
They're starting it. AD carry's not here. Minitroupax is gone.
May just be enough for them to get it. It could just come down to the 50-50. Gilius has no smite. If he wants to move to that pit, he's going to
doesn't have flash.
Odoamne blocking off the rest of the team. Splyce are laser focused on that Baron, and they're going to get it. Baron dropping in their favor. Vitality desperate to get something back. Kobbe, will he find the turn on the engage? Body block comes through. Jacktroll on the backside. Minitroupax with the rest of the team, but there's Kobbe on the side. He's got to get one. Instantly sniped out. Odo will be traded back. There's the lantern as well, but now it's Minitroupax stuck with the Sion. Is going to be able to make it out courtesy of the Unraveled Earth, but they have to be careful. Daisy is on the hunt. Vitality are backing off. Splyce still with the Baron up. They're going to retreat. 1-for-1
trade, but Baron to Splyce. Minitroupax was back in base. He tried to rush to the Baron in time, but it was too late. Great call from Splyce to secure the big objective. 7k gold lead on their side. They're already pushing towards this top lane turret.
So big for Splyce. They are so close to securing that win, getting those ever so crucial championship points, securing their spots at Rift Rivals, and making their way to being a top team here in Europe.
Splyce on the road to a 3-2 finish if they can keep this going. Of course, if you look back at this, Kobbe getting an excellent pick off to the side here. Good patience. If this bush had been warded, he could have died immediately.
Yeah, but he's just hiding there, and poor Gilius. I feel like he's been a punching bag all game long. Whenever he first picks Trundle, it's hard for him to have enough impact.
Yes.
Compared to what we normally see from Vitality.
Olaf was available too. The champion that's given Vitality so much success in the series, they decided not to go for. They wanted to take Xerxe off that pick.
It actually just feels like Vitality made changes just to make changes. Not because the other things weren't working. They were 2-1 up. They looked great in the first game and the third game. They could have just continued to do exactly that. But they're like, no, game 4, Azir comes in, Israel comes in. The Azir definitely didn't work for Jiizuke. They will go back to the Taliyah, but it's then the Trundle again. And that's not working for Gilius.
And it's too late for them to make any more changes. We've already heard Silver Scrapes. We are in game 5. Splyce have a 7,000 gold lead, and they have their eyes on the Nexus.
I still want to highlight that despite the big goal lead for Splyce, there's enough items on Minitroupax to carry. If Splyce overextends, goes too far, Minitroupax gets the first kill, and he goes crazy, and he will take down the rest of Splyce. So there's always that comeback potential for Vitality, just based on the Portuguese AD carry.
But it's about finding that right fight for Vitality, which so far they have not been able to do, aside from that one in the mid lane, where they got the turnaround onto Splyce, when Troupax and Jiizuke were not at threat from the 2 big carries from Splyce.
And those 2 carries getting all the kills on the side of Splyce.
Now moving to the jungle, hunting, looking for these picks, clearing out division, making sure that they have sole control over the bottom side of the map. Vitality have to be careful here. Tier 2 tower in their sights, not a lot that Vitality can do to contest. They're going to step forward anyway, maybe hoping to get a little bit of poke damage down. Just a single auto attack, their only prize in that exchange. Pressure continues to mount. 8k gold advantage for Splyce. Triple Cloud Drake, they can move through these lanes in an instant. Vitality, if they're going to look for a fight, they have to be incredibly decisive or it will turn against them immediately.
Just look at the control that Splyce have over the bot side. Vitality doing their best to answer. Ooh, Hook so very close to landing. But so far, nothing. Xerxe reminding Vitality that while he may be playing a friend of the jungle, he is no friend of yours. Doing a great job of pushing in towards Vitality's base.
You're going to get a pay raise for that one.
You could have just left it silent and just cracked on, but...
Casual thumbs up from your co-casters as you continue on your eloquent point there, Vedius. But of course, we've talked about stakes a lot, and I mean, everything was on the line in this game, and now as it comes to it, everything is on the line for Vitality in this next play. If they make one more fumble, it feels like Splyce will probably just end the game.
That's always the problem when you fall this far behind. But as long as you can get back through an AD carry, there is hope for Vitality. Splyce with the triple Cloud Drake, and of course on 8-5 when it actually gives you movement speed in combat. Very valuable on champions like Cassiopeia, who constantly needs to dodge around. Very good against things like Ornn ulti, where you need to be able to move out in time before it actually hits you. So this Cloud Drake ends up adding a lot of value for Splyce, despite it not being, let's say, triple Infernal, which is normally what you want to get for pure late game scaling.
Yeah, I mean, the Cassio, when out of combat, is at 470 movement speed, and it only drops to 432 when actually in combat. So it's like, that's one speedy snake.
Kind of removes the playmaking potential from Jacktroll.
Yeah.
Because trying to land hooks against like really fast moving targets,
it's too slippery, slide.
It's very hard.
Very difficult place to be. It does seem rather fitting, though, that as we get later in the game, that all of Vitality's hope rests on the shoulders of Minitroupax. All season we said, Jiizuke, Jiizuke, Jiizuke. He is the guy that's making things happen on the team. He is the guy that's bringing home the wins for them. And so when their backs are against the wall, when they're in Game 5, third place on the line, everything on Minitroupax in the fights to come.
It's going to be exciting. Baron now spawns in a minute 45. This will be it. The determining objective to solidify whether Vitality can come back into the game or if Splyce will close it out. Odoamne gets blocked out.
Hook does connect, not a ton of damage there. Slowly getting chipped down by both the carries, but
Feels no pain. The Warmogs will just regen him up as well. Splyce putting a lot of deep vision down towards the top side of Vitality's map. They have now ran out of control wards, but as long as they do not allow Vitality to enter the jungle, they will not lose this vision.
And you can see Vitality just so clearly still on the back foot. Daisy being brought up. They have the banner of command as well. They want to siege down this tower. And there's just not enough members here to stop it. They may get the tower uncontested.
Yeah, Jinx showed bot lane. You're against Tristana. She will kill your turret in 2 seconds.
Vitality now stepping forward. Pillar does go in, but really not the turn that they wanted whatsoever. Kobbe leaps forward for a cheeky auto. The Jacktroll taking a third of his health. Have to be careful. Kobbe taking a lot of damage.
That's the late game crits we were talking about with Minitroupax.
Exactly. Kobbe's job is to not walk in range of the Jinx.
Yes.
Because then he dies in 2 shots. Has to just kill the front line of Vitality. Gilius is not being able to do anything, so he's always going to be an easy target for them. Cabochard might be the next one to fall. Kasing's Braum here, the surprise pick in some ways of this series. In fact, he's just played so many range supports. In this game here, has been doing well in the team fights, and that's what they need from him. He just be a wall right in front of his carries, and that ulti, if you can actually get it on to someone like Minitroupax and stop his DPS, that could be huge for Splyce.
A perfect unbreakable as well. The wall there to stop any follow-up damage would be everything for the team. Not just the ulti and the CC for the disengage, but we've seen Kobbe be similarly crucial in the fights. If he can hit the rest of the team, but the flank is there. Baron now respawning. You hear the trademark cry. Nisqy now leaping forward, looking for a little bit more. The damage has come down. Gilius has to go back to safety. Kobbe now on the push forward. Both teams retreating. Neither side able to grab a kill quite yet, but clearly favored to Splyce in the end.
Enemy jungler now very low. Jiizuke down to 30% as well on his side. Very tough situation for Splyce to be in. He's engaged.
Have to back off. Odoamne could get taken out before he even gets the chance to ulti. Minitroupax, not even the chance to heal. There is the hourglass to bring it home. Kobbe not going to leap forward, not going to risk anything into the face of Minitroupax. The exhaust has been used. Kasing incredibly low. Both sides actually going to be backing off, but Splyce backing into that Baron pit knowing they have control.
That is so unbelievable that Odo stays alive with a stopwatch that he's held onto 40 minutes into the game. Really cool setup here from Splyce. They have 5 members. The ulti is about to come back up on the side of Odoamne, looking for an opportunity, but they're just running top.
They want the inhib now. They know Splyce sitting with 5 members against 4 on Vitality. Now actually they might go back. They're waiting to see what Vitality is doing. Are they leaving the mid lane? Are they going towards a potential Elder Drake that's spawning in 8 seconds?
They're splitting them. They're not hesitating at all in their calls. They know that Vitality might hesitate, might send a member back to stop the push. Vitality are still here and they're still strong. Gilius with no flash available. If he wants to steal this one, he's gonna have to get into the pit. Yet another Baron dropping in favor of Splyce.
And now Elder Drake is alive. They can go straight towards it here, stop Vitality from actually starting it.
TP is up and available for Cabo. He has just respawned. He is TPing into the middle lane. I feel like this is Vitality saying they want to fight.
Minitroupax steps forward. Gilius looks to throw down the pillar. Kasing just leaps right back out, but the hook does connect. Gets to safety. Mikhail's there for him. Team now backing up. Kobbe actually got caught! The flash out immediately. Beautiful play comes in from Kobbe to save his life. Knockback on the engage. Nisqy could be the one in trouble. Does use the hourglass. Minitroupax waiting for an opportunity to get in, but multiple flashes burned. Vitality definitely getting the edge in this fight, but the inhibitor is dropping.
Now look at the members of Splyce. They're still pretty healthy. They might just look to run down mid as Vitality try to contest for this Elder.
Remember Vitality, no Drakes on their side.
Look at mid, look at top. Splyce could look to end the game.
They just look for it. Kobbe is here, Nisqy is here. They have the wave pushing on the bottom side. The backs are being stalled. Only Taliyah is going to be able to make it.
Splyce are going to end.
The moment Splyce are pushing in. Vitality have made one last mistake. Will it end the game against them? Jiizuke steps forward. That's it. He's going to get cut down immediately. Sights on the Nexus. Splyce turned back the series. They solidly solidified 3rd place at the top of Europe.
Splyce figured out it's about the late game. It's about Kobbe and Nisqy being big carries. They succeeded in getting kills bottom side this one here. They controlled the mid game and Vitality did try to get back. But too many times do they overstep, they get punished. Splyce's shot calling proved to be better here in the last game.
What a fantastic series. All the way to game 5. So many back and forths. Such a tense final game where there was so much dancing around the Baron. Splyce stuck to their style. They played the better team fights. And Kobbe secures himself such a big win in his home country.
Just a beautiful performance for this team. The story of their split, the struggles at the start, the reliance on scaling. They've proven that they can swap styles, that they can come back in these best-of-5 scenarios, adjust their draft, do what it takes to find the wins when the pressure is on.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that game 1 was a very one-sided win for Vitality. A few good moments for Splyce, and that was it. Vitality took full control, but they bounced back. And we saw them actually now, towards the end, find the correct playstyle for them. It was not to put Xerxe on the super standard, aggressive early game junglers. It was Ivern, it was Zac. Those kind of picks ended up being big for him. And Nisqy and Kobbe then became 2 big carries. But on the side of Vitality, you gotta feel bad for especially Minitroupax, because he tried his hardest to carry that last game.
It was so fun to watch. The crowd chants for Kobbe as Splyce secure themselves 3rd place. They will lock in a spot at Rift Rivals later in the year as well. Also, those valuable championship points that will contribute so hype.
There you go, pride of Denmark right there in this series. The crowd could not have asked for a better win for a Danish player.
And while a lot of praise does need to be given to Kobbe, Nisqy alongside him, the 2 big carries for Splyce. This team has made so much development, and when it mattered most, those 2 were able to step up and bring Splyce their 5th game win.
Remember to hit us up at LO Esports on Twitter to vote for your player of the series. A lot of different options available. Nisqy, Kobbe, Xerxe. Let us know who you choose. Bit of a crushing best-of-5 there for Minitroupax.
He did so much work. He played so well. They relied on him as the main carry, and he got close. But in the end, the shot call and the team play of Splyce ended up being better.
Absolutely. Well, as we close out the series over in the NALCS, their 3rd place match between Echo Fox and Clutch Gaming is about to start on Twitch TV/Riot Games. Here in Copenhagen, we'll be joined by Kasing in the EULCS post-game lobby, and that's going to be on twitch.tv/EULCS. If you're on YouTube, you do not need to change. If you're on Twitch, change now to revel in this moment to enjoy the victory alongside Splyce.
What a great 5-game series. Very enjoyable to watch. Loved all the different things that we saw. Very much enjoyed the cast on the day, chaps.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of fun.
Really disliked it.
No one cares what you think.
But that was it. Splyce securing themselves 3rd place. We're now just setting up for an interview on stage, as you just highlighted to Drakos. And get to hear what Kobbe has to say.
I want to hear from the man himself. You see the rest of the team ushered off the stage. The sole focus of today's win. And yeah, he needs his, it's a little chilly. You need a coat. Perfect attire.
Best kind of outfit ever. The Danish flag.
Man, people were ready. There you go. Lots of Kobbe fans in the audience.
So much great support. And this is only day 1. Still got day 2. Fnatic versus G2 coming up tomorrow. That's going to be an interesting final.
It's going to be very exciting. Can't wait to see it. Of course, the last few moments, making sure both Nisqy and Kobbe are ready. Got to give the carry duo their justice. Well, for more on Splyce's win, let's head over to the main stage where Lore is ready with Kobbe and Nisqy.
Thank you very much, guys. I will take it from here. 3rd place is decided, and Splyce takes it in the end. Guys, congratulations. How does it feel to finally win this one, Nisqy?
I mean, it was a rough series. So it was a pretty rough series, very back and forth.
Really back and forth then.
Huh?
Really back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know, this series was so weird. But I can thank my boy Nisqy. I think he played super well this series.
Yeah.
So it's nice, we could win.
And is there some words you would like to say in Danish to the fans watching you and supporting you, obviously?
Mange tusind tak. Jeg havde slet ikke forventet, at der ville være så meget opbakning omkring mig og Splyce, så tusind tak for det.
Now back on the series, Nisqy. How does it feel for you to grab this victory today?
I mean, today, I think like we showed that we were the better team because our start was a bit tough, and then we came back and we just won, and yeah.
Alongside championship points, you will be sent to Rift Rivals. Kobbe, who are you looking forward to face in this tournament? Which any teams or players?
Probably Double Lift and Team Liquid. I think it's going to be the toughest opponent. But otherwise, I'm not really sure. I don't watch NA all the time, but I would like to play against Double Lift.
Okay, that's right. Nisqy, you had your experience in NA last year. Are you happy about to come here again and, well, face them this time?
I mean, I want to face like Clutch Gaming because they're like my old teammates, and then I just want to crush with Ivern because they choose him over me. So, I mean, yeah, I think playing against Clutch Gaming I'll be really happy to play against them. So,
Final question for you guys. It's going to be the finals tomorrow. Who do you think will take the crown in the end, G2 or Fnatic? Kobbe. Be careful.
Yeah, I don't want to disappoint you guys, but I think Fnatic is going to take it.
Nisqy, what do you think?
I think Fnatic is going to stomp G2.
All right, then. Thank you guys for joining me, and congratulations again for this victory. And thank you guys for following us today. We're going to take a short break, and right after, it's going to be Xerxe and the winners for LCS post-game lobby.